Hey, college coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a startup company based here in Austin, Texas. We are focused on using technology to better connect student athletes with other student athletes as they go through the recruiting process, to also connect them to college coaches as we're going through this very different pandemic recruiting cycle that we're going through now. But most importantly, we're here to help student athletes focus on having a successful transition from high school to college, and then either into a career based on their major or in the NFL. We've got a prospect with us today that I've seen at FBU Top Gun last couple of years. Alexander Emery is a class of 23 quarterback from Bend Senior High School in Bend, Oregon. He's 6'1", 175, 3.86 GPA. Like I said, he was a two-time Top Gun invitee and a NW9 finalist. Alexander, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing good. How about you?
And I'm doing great, man. I'm hoping you and your family and friends are safe on the West Coast. I'm originally a California native, but living in Texas now, and I'm always keeping an eye on what's going on out there. So I hope you guys are safe.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good so far.
Good, good, good. Hey, let's jump right in here. First thing coaches wanted to hear about you as a prospect is, you know, your strong GPA is good. Tell these coaches about the importance that you put on your academics.
The academics always comes first, in my opinion, because I mean, life after football, then you're going to have a career. But I always make sure to keep the same work ethic in the classroom as well as on the field.
Good job. Yeah. Do you have any favorite courses that drives the GPA?
I love engineering and math. I just love problem solving. So those two really, I like those two a lot.
Yeah, you and I have a lot in common. I use football to get my degree in engineering, and I'm getting an MBA and working in Silicon Valley in my real-time job. But I love doing what I'm here, so I love hearing that. So, kind of gives you an idea. What do you plan on majoring in when you get to college?
I want to be a bioengineer.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
And then, are there any teachers at Bend Senior High School that have made an impact on you, that has made learning fun, that you want to shout out right now?
So I just recently transferred over to Bend High School from Summit.
Okay.
And so last year I had a teacher that I would really like to shout out. He's my engineering teacher. His name's Mr. Thompson. His learning style really fit well with me, and he's a very genuine guy.
Awesome. Tell us about, coaches want to understand about your learning style. Tell these coaches, are you more of a verbal, visual, or hands-on learning style?
I would say probably visual. Just when it comes to like math, I like to see the problem written out before I know like how to do the problem. And also when I'm on the field, I like to then like watch film to know like how to do it correctly.
Okay. You know, when athletes like us talk about work ethic, we usually talk about it when it comes to preparing for the season. Tell these coaches, what's your work ethic like when it comes to your academics? How do you attack your academics?
I always attack my academics 100%. I don't like to procrastinate because it just keeps building on me. So once I get the assignment, I'm just trying to nail it.
Okay, that's good stuff. Hey, let's transition over to getting a little more about you personally. When you're not working out and you're not playing football, what are some of your hobbies and interests? What do you do in your spare time?
I like to hunt. Bird hunting is kind of mainly what I like to do. I like to fish, kind of some outdoor stuff. Lots of stuff, like hanging out with friends.
Okay.
And Lines for Life also. And I volunteer. Lines for Life is a nonprofit youth organization that I do 6 hours a week on. It's like a crisis line for other teens.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so basically it's a confidential team line that you can call, text, or chat on, and email, and we are just there to offer mental support, especially during this rough time. You know, tons of teens have needed mental support, which I 100% get.
Is it so you didn't use the word suicide? Is it a suicide hotline, or is it just like, hey, I need to talk to somebody and vent about what's going on around me?
It's a crisis line, so you can be in a crisis, but sometimes kids just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. Did you have to have training for that, or you just kind of fell into that?
120 hours of training.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, that's good stuff. Hey, recruiting right now is taking place on social media right now. What social media presence do you have? What tools can coaches find you on? Are you a Twitter guy, Instagram, or what?
I have Twitter and Instagram are my main kind of recruiting things. Twitter being number one, Instagram number two, but those are kind of the two main sites that I'm on.
Okay. And how would you describe your social media presence to a coach?
I use it as a tool, not something that can come back and haunt me in the future.
Great
I
response.
prefer to be more mature when it comes to social media.
That's what I want to hear. That's good stuff right there. That's what every coach wants to hear. Hey, couple of things about you personally. What's your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food? My mom makes great mac and cheese, but I also love a good Philly cheesesteak.
I like it. Okay. What about your favorite football movie?
Remember the Titans? It just kind of shows how like a team comes together to win a championship.
Yeah, classic. And then music art. Who's your favorite artist, and what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to kind of hip hop and R&B, but my favorite artist is probably The Weeknd.
Okay. All right. I see you on that. Okay. And then you're a good athlete. We'll get to that in a little bit, but tell us, what other sports do you play outside of football?
I used to do wrestling for a while, but track. Track's kind of my number two.
Okay. And what events do you do in track and field?
400 triple jump. I'm going to probably do the decathlon also.
Okay. Oh wow, it's Calvin. That's awesome. You're the first one to say that. Hey, tell me about somebody outside of sports that has made a big impact on your life.
My grandfather, Dave Hanna, he's made a huge impact on my life from just kind of being raised all the way up. I mean, he's not with us anymore, but he really kind of he did things his own way. And then at his funeral, My Way was kind of, My Way by Frank
Yeah.
Sinatra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to be played. So,
Okay. That's good
yeah.
stuff. Hey, I call this my dream scenario question, Alexander. Let's say you have a great 4 years in college and you find yourself in New York City at the NFL draft. Who are you inviting to sit with you at your table, waiting for the commissioner to call your name?
Family always comes first, so probably my immediate family and then my girlfriend.
Okay. All right. He's already got a plan for that. That's good to hear. Tell us a little bit. So you already told us kind of things you give back in the community, you be involved at mental health service. But tell us, what is your life? What do you want your life to look like once football is over, whenever that is, both from a personal perspective and from a professional perspective?
I want to kind of have a good footprint. At my middle school, they talked about leaving a legacy, and I want to leave like a good legacy on many people's lives. Like I want to touch them, and if it's on the football field or just helping them out in one way or another.
Okay, I like that. What about personally? Do you want to get married one day? You want to have kids? You want to be single your whole life? What are your thoughts there?
I want to get married one day, have kids. I think that that's kind of my dream goal. Like probably two kids.
Okay,
Would
all
love
right.
to live probably somewhere out of the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Where would you like to live? Where would you like to live if you had the choice?
Dream place would be my own island in Greece.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I can't go wrong with that. Hey, another big thing, Alexander, that coach will understand is everybody communicates differently. How would you describe how you like to communicate with teammates and coaches? Are you a phone guy? Are you a text me guy? Are you a hit me up on DM? What kind of guy how do you like to communicate?
I like phone calls because I think I'm a very direct person, and I think that I'm like able to talk to them. I guess I like hearing their voices and kind of like how like their voice inflection on what I'm saying if they're
Yeah,
like
good stuff. Okay. Hey, let's switch over to recruiting. I know you're just now going into your sophomore year, but how would you describe yourself to these coaches? What kind of teammate are you? Well, how would your teammates describe you as a teammate?
I hope that they describe me as a leader because I mean I like to set by example more than verbal because what I've seen is my teammates like to like follow somebody who sets by example instead of talks a lot.
Okay. And then what else? How else would you think they describe you as teammate?
Oh, a very hard worker. If I'm not on the field throwing and like not doing my academics, I'm in the weight room.
Okay.
Like that's my spot. I mean, maybe my size doesn't reflect it too much, but it'll get there.
You're still young and growing. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Hey, going into your sophomore year, what would you say are your strengths, and what are some of the things you're working on going into your sophomore year?
My strengths, I'd say, is my athleticism, my accuracy, my football IQ for sure. Um, I don't know. I think that those are probably the main three things. And then my weaknesses is I'm way too competitive.
Okay.
Like, um, I think that that's kind of the main thing when it
Okay.
comes to my weaknesses. I
All
think that
right.
I can always dial my footwork in more because that's something you
Mm-hmm.
can't, like, you're not always 100% on for
You
me.
mentioned your parents earlier. You're already 6'1", 175, which is good size as a sophomore, but you still got 3 more years of growth. Tell these coaches, what do you think your height and weight will be by the time you graduate?
Hopefully 6'4", 225. That'd be my
Wow.
goal.
Is there that kind of size in your family, your parents or grandparents, or no?
Um, so my dad's side, yes, there is, but and my growth plates are still wide open,
Okay.
but not really on my mom's side. I mean, my mom's 5'7". My dad didn't really get it, but I think that his uncle was 6'7", and my dad's only 6 feet tall. But I go right past him, so I'm happy about that.
Okay. 5'7" for your mom. For a woman, that's not short by any means. That's good height.
Yeah.
As we talk about your family, tell us a little bit more about your mom and dad, what they do for a living, and your siblings, if any. Are you the baby? Are you the oldest? What's your family background?
Okay, so on my mom's side, my great grandparents immigrated here from Syria. And so they were entrepreneurs. They started their own deli. And then their son, which is my grandfather that I was talking about,
Hmm.
he, him and his brothers created Yo Cream frozen yogurt.
Okay.
And then my parents own Earth 2O, a bottled water company.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then my dad was kind of impoverished, and they kind of built that up from the ground. And then my sister is younger than me. She plays volleyball. She's 2 years younger than me, so I'm the oldest one in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I appreciate the background. That's really interesting. Tell us about the importance you put on being the best big brother you could be to your sister.
I think that a big brother always has to watch out for her, so I don't want her to make the same mistakes that I have, even if it's just like minor stuff. So, and I also like to push my sister because I know what she can be, and I know what she's going to be.
Is she an outside hitter, blocker, or setter, or is she a libero?
I think that she's a setter.
Okay. Well, that's big time. Okay. And does she
Yeah.
have aspirations of playing volleyball in college?
Yeah, I think that that's her goal. Volleyball in
Okay.
college. She also plays lacrosse. She's a goalie.
Okay. And I forgot to ask, but your parents, were they athletes by chance?
Yeah, my dad. Here I'll actually show you this. My dad was in the 1984 Olympics in Slovenia.
Really?
Yeah, he's a bobsledder, and then he also played college football and
Where
track.
at?
Washington, they blew his knee out and transferred to Puget Sound.
Okay. And what about your mom?
My mom, she didn't do any athletics in college, but she was a cheerleader in high school.
Okay. Good stuff. That's good. Interesting background. Hey, tell these coaches, would you consider yourself a weight room guy?
Oh yeah, I love the weights. I always have. Actually, just recently I got my max squat up to 325, so I was happy about that. Um, but yeah, I love the weights. Always have since sixth grade.
Okay. And then, communication with your coaching staff is important to these college coaches as they evaluate you. Tell them a little bit about your relationship with your position coach, which is probably your OC, and your head coach.
So I just transferred over here, as you know, just recently. But I've
Yep.
already made like a good bond with my offensive coordinator, Coach Cooper, and my head coach, Coach Craven. And I already have full trust in them, and I know what they're doing.
Good stuff. Okay. And then tell us a little bit about, coaches want to understand, do players understand and respect authority? And are they going to be dependable to be on time for meetings and for workouts and practices? Tell us a little bit about how you attack those parts of being a student athlete.
I always think that if you're not early, you're late. So I always try to show up early for things. And when it comes to if I respect authority, I'm always second behind my parents, my coaches, anybody who's older than me
You
or has
know,
higher.
yeah, no, that makes sense completely. Coaches always look at guys and put them in two different buckets. Some guys love to play the game, and some guys love to practice and play the game. Which one are you and why?
I mean, so last year I was unable to play quarterback because I fractured my elbow from overthrowing right before the season started from practicing, and I just love it. I love practicing, and now my elbow's all healthy, so I'm back practicing. My favorite thing. I don't really
Okay,
get away from it.
gotcha. Okay. And are you a film study guy? Obviously, the quarterback you are, but are you a big film study guy?
Yeah, so last year when I couldn't play quarterback, I had to play linebacker. And so before each week on each game, I would study every single player, know their tendencies, know what the team's tendencies are, and even know who their girlfriend was before the game.
I like it.
Yeah.
That is detail that you definitely want to know in case you need to use that in the game.
Oh, yeah.
So, as a
All,
quarterback, is there a certain quarterback in college or in the NFL that you pattern your game off of, and who is that?
I like to kind of create my own type. Like, I mean, I'll use like a mix of different people, but I want to be kind of my own player, like I would say, but if there was one person that I'd try to model off of, it would be like a college Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Well, I love your answer. You're trying to take a little bit of each quarterback, so let's go there. If I said let's break up being a quarterback into legs, arm strength, and vision and smarts. Which piece of each quarterback would you use? Whose legs, either at the college or pro level, would you say, yeah, I would love to have that kind of speed or strength?
I would think probably when it comes to legs, maybe like a mix between a Josh Allen and Russell Wilson, kind of like a Josh Allen like strength, and
Yeah,
Russell Wilson just kind of quickness and like footwork.
yeah, no, that's a great example. What about arm strength?
Arm strength, probably a Joe Burrow. I mean, my arm strength's okay. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, I throw the ball 50 yards, but I still want to like improve on it. But I
Okay.
would say probably like that.
What about accuracy?
Accuracy, oh, I'm not sure. That's like my big thing that I like. Probably like a Tom Brady.
Okay. And then lastly, what about vision and mental preparation?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably also like a Tom Brady or Joe Burrow. Just
Yeah.
seeing the defense, knowing we're going to throw before the play even starts, or knowing your reads.
Okay. No, that's a pretty good mix. That actually matches your game from the film I've seen. Being a student athlete is part of overcoming adversity. Tell these coaches about a time in your life, either personally or professionally, or dealing with football actually, where you had to overcome some type of adversity.
Oh, well, when it comes to football, I've had to overcome a lot of adversity. I started playing quarterback in eighth grade. And so last year, I fractured my elbow before the season started. And if you can see the scar on my hand,
Yep.
so I had to wear an arm brace while playing linebacker last year, and then on my hand, I found out that I probably broke my bone or something before, and it healed wrong. So I had to wear a batting glove on my left hand with a kind of like a plate on it, so I
Hmm.
didn't break. And then I had surgery after that. So
Wow.
adversity.
So you're truly healthy though going into this year, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, feeling better than ever.
We're going to see some tremendous production from you at the quarterback position, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Great. Alexander, tell these coaches, how do you define leadership, and how do you plan on leading going into your sophomore year?
I define leadership as somebody that everybody just naturally follows into battle. And how, I mean, I'm a underclassman for sure, but, and I'm going to a new school, but I'm hoping and I know that these guys will follow me into battle. Just
Okay.
kind of set by example.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter what year you are. I mean, there's obviously you'd like to be able to respect your upperclassmen, but if they're not leading, I mean, if you're a sophomore or even a freshman, if you're leading, people will follow you. I mean, I always tell people all the time, if you're a leader, people will see that, and people love leaders, and they'll follow them. So that's good that you have that approach. Talk a little bit about coachability. How would you describe to these college coaches how coachable you are as an athlete?
You won't have to tell me twice to fix something on a rep. Like my thing, and I've also heard this from a bunch of coaches, like time after time, make a new mistake. So, like, I'm going to try not to make a new mistake, but I won't make the same mistake as you told me to do.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's a great response. And then lastly, as we finish up here, obviously coaches love players who are competitive. And you mentioned earlier that you're overly competitive. Just tell these coaches about your competitive nature and what drives you to be the best you can be.
No matter what it is, I mean, I have to win. I always find a way to win. So what drives me to compete is, I don't know, it's just something inside me. And I think that probably my number one like fear would be like not accomplishing everything I can. So in order to be competitive, I don't have any regrets in life.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a great response. Hey, finishing up here. So we talked about the elevator pitch. It's a business term that, if you're in front of an investor or somebody that can influence your business, or in this case, you're recruiting, you get 30 seconds with them. Tell these college coaches why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program.
Got you. Why they should recruit me is I'm going to be a tempo setter, hard worker, and I will for sure never be outworked. That's one thing they can bet on. And if not, you can see my game film. And well, I mean, I don't have any game film from quarterback yet in high school because of last year, but you'll see it this year. Um, I think that that's kind of the main part when it comes to game film is like what they want to see. But when it comes to like me as a person, I'm going to be the hardest worker there. And I'm going to try to set by example, and I'll be a natural leader and
Okay.
know the playbook in and out probably
Yeah, no,
like
absolutely.
first week.
Well, Alexander, I'm excited to see you play. I'll be watching your huddle links, and please keep me updated. Continue to be safe out there. If you have any questions during the season, let me know, and tell the family I said hi. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Have a great evening.
All right, thanks. You too.